Well, here we go. It's the Engage Life right here on the Engage Network, episode 14.
Yeah.
Let's go. I can't believe it. You can't believe it. We're 14 episodes in. That means after today, there's only one episode left in season 1 of the Engage Life. And can I just say, what a ride. It's been a journey. It's been a ride. It's been a struggle. It's been
a struggle.
Well, you dealing with me.
Okay.
Listen,
well, yeah, then there's that.
there is coming a highlight reel of you putting your head in your face like this. Libby, what's the count? Like 200 times? I feel like you've done that. Like you married
it's a
me.
depiction of real life. So
I mean, it is.
Here
This is the real deal. I think what people need to understand is like this is literally just us talking.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what date night's like, it's about this exciting.
Oh no.
That's
so sad.
Is it though?
Well,
just dropping those mics.
Yeah.
So here we are, episode 14, Engage Life.
Mm-hmm.
One more left to go.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1, it's been good. But, hey, thank you so much for everyone who's emailed, commented. You send us direct messages. We are thankful for you. We'll even try and reach into the mailbag maybe
for the last one
on episode 15 here of season 1, last episode, so we can hear what you have to say. So if you got to get your take in, make sure you send that in, brett@engagechurch.ca. Send me a direct message on Instagram, @BrettEsslinger, @DesireeEsslinger, and we would love to hang out with you, or at engage.church. What's my purpose? That's what we're talking about today on the Engage
I knew
Life.
you'd like that one.
Yeah, this is a great topic. I think it's kind of fitting. We're at the end of like the college school year.
Yeah, end of season in a lot of ways.
You know, people are like, what do I even do with my life now?
Yeah.
It's May.
Yeah.
Now what? You know, maybe you're graduating. You're trying to figure out what your next step is. Maybe you're graduating high school and you're doing all your entrance stuff and you're trying to get into post-secondary. Maybe you just finished an incredible program and you're like, what do I even do with my life? I need to find a job.
Now what?
What's
big
my
now
purpose?
what?
Question also applies to those who have been in the game for a long time. You've been in your career for a long time. You're like, is this even worth it? Like,
I honestly think it applies across the board. I think it doesn't matter what age or segment of life you're in. I think it's across the board a question that I feel like we hear a lot, or that is a struggle a lot of the time, because it's so much bigger than I think we understand.
Yeah. So you've got this great theory on doing before discovery, which I think is awesome. Why don't you unpack that a little bit? Because I think a lot of us are waiting for a sign. If you're waiting for a sign, this is your sign. You know,
Here we go. Here we go.
Why don't you unpack that, doing before discovery?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this and about, the whole question of what is my purpose? What am I here for? What am I supposed to do with my life? And I think so often we kind of expect this big drop moment where God's just be like, boom, this is what you're supposed to do with your life. Libby, what can you do with that?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, this one instant moment where we expect everything to be unpacked and we're supposed to understand the entire purpose of our life and what we're supposed to do.
That didn't happen to you?
No, it sure didn't. I'm not saying it maybe doesn't. I'm not going to there's no, this is the way or anything. But I just think so often we expect this moment and we just sit and we just wait.
Right.
And we just sit back and we wait. And we wait for that moment where God drops it on us. We wait for that sign or that thing that's just going to say, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I think the problem with that is that we waste a lot of time just waiting. And I think...
So what you're saying is you waited for your moment so long that you missed your moment?
It's possible. I'm not saying that is the guarantee, but I'm saying it's possible because I think that big discovery is oftentimes unpacked in a gradual fashion. And I think a lot of times it just requires us to do something.
Right.
Like we are gifted and talented and we have passions and desires and goals and dreams. And sometimes we just sit back on those waiting for the okay, God, what do I do with all of this and what's my purpose?
Right.
And maybe he's just like, well, go do something. Sometimes the discovery comes in the doing of what there's so many different things that we could do, and it might not be the thing.
Right.
Like you might start doing something and you might discover it's not the thing. Well, there's a discovery
that's
right there.
Learning.
It
that's
is
important learning.
I think so.
I'm a big fan of failing forward.
Yeah.
I consider most of my life a failure in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Because if you don't try something, if you don't test something, you can learn what to do, but it's also as powerful to learn what not to do.
Yeah, or where maybe it's kind of like, oh, maybe this is it. Nope, that's not it. Okay,
Right.
maybe this is it. And that you sometimes need that veer off to get you onto the right track.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's necessary. So sometimes it's just in the doing things, trying
Sure.
things, going in a direction. And I feel like the discovery of your purpose is not just this one boom, instantaneous thing. We say all the time that our main goal is we follow Jesus one step at a time. And I think he unpacks that purpose as we walk one step at a time. It's this like progressive unpacking of purpose that doesn't necessarily ever end. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just this constant thing. And so rather than waiting for this instantaneous moment and wasting possible time, to me, a lot of times just means let's get out and do and try. Even if that first thing isn't the thing, it doesn't mean that first thing isn't going to lead you into the thing.
Right. I mean, I think, to be honest, I think if we had our own way and if we were directing our own steps exclusively, we would end up going where we wanted to go, but I don't know that we would go where we were like created to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think let's take our lives for example.
Yeah, we're a real good example.
We are a great example.
We are.
Because if you were to tell us 10 years ago that we'd be in Spruce Grove, in Stony Plain, and we're coming for you, Barhead, hashtag Vision Sunday, thanks for coming to church, everybody. You know, talking about expanding out, going to these rural areas. Like, we are city people.
You should say we were city people.
Yeah,
See, I don't think you could say that anymore.
I mean, I am.
And we are in a city, so you can't even say that.
We're in a city, but we're not like, we would have never thought of, like, we didn't even know which one came first, Stony Plain or Spruce Grove.
That's true. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
It's just a reality. Like, we didn't know, and yet God had other plans for us.
Yeah.
And he moves us in a different direction, and I'm so thankful for it. And
yeah.
we love where we are, and we can see God's hand in absolutely all of it. But if it was up to us, we would not be here right now.
Yeah.
So thank God it wasn't up to us.
We wouldn't have known.
You know, thank God that we trust him and we follow his leading and we follow his open doors. We base this around, you know, we follow Jesus one step at a time, comes out of Psalm 37. Okay. Psalm 37:23. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand. But I love verse 24. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand. I hold the hand of the one who holds the world, the one who holds my life in his hands, holds this world in his hands. Like, there's something incredible in that. There's something actually that brings me peace and a peace that surpasses all understanding to me, because I know that he's got me, and if I follow him, he's got something better for me. He's got something better than even my best intention for me, because I'm convinced that I know me better than anybody else. But that's not true. The person who knows me best is the person who created me. God knows me. Jesus knows me better than I know myself. We have our vantage point, but we give ourselves the benefit of the doubt a lot. Retell a story from 5 years ago and who's the hero in that story, and then relive that moment, the exact moment, and who's actually the hero of the story. I mean,
there's a little bit of a skew.
Because perception is reality, and we give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. So when we follow Jesus one step at a time, we're discovering our purpose. Sometimes that just means taking whatever opportunity is right in front of you, taking whatever that open door is, walking through it. You're like, is this the thing? Like, is this? Well, why are you so convinced that this decision that you make right now is going to be the thing that you're going to do the rest of your life?
Yeah. Or that it's just going to unravel everything, every plan and whatever.
So in one sense, we like talk out of both sides of our mouth because we're like, just like do something. And then the other side, we're like, don't make a bad decision. But it's like, okay, what if we just rolled it all back and said, we follow Jesus one step at a time? Have you asked him about your next step? Have you aligned your heart to his? Like, what's your value system? Do you have a value system? My value system is closely aligned to who I believe Jesus is and who he wants me to be. And that begins to dictate my past. Now, what I love about this is that it says in verse 24, though they stumble, meaning it's gonna happen. Is gonna stumble.
It's gonna happen.
We're gonna trip. It says, though they stumble, they will never fall. You will never be crushed. You will never be entirely defeated. You'll not be wiped out, because the Lord holds you by your hand. If you're following Jesus one step at a time, somebody needs to hear this today. You're following Jesus one step at a time. You might trip. You might stumble. It might even feel like you're walking on rocky ground, but you will not fall. You will not be crushed, because the Lord holds you by the hand, and he's directing. He cares about the small details. He
Yeah.
cares about your steps. He's giving you that firm foundation.
Yeah.
Now, I can also say this. If you're going your own way, if you're doing your own thing, and if you fall, and if you stumble, there's a good chance that you will fall. Now, the great news is that God is always writing a redemptive storyline.
Yeah.
He's always turning that around. If you would let him, if you would invite him in, he will turn that around.
He will.
He can preserve you. He can redeem it. So I think sometimes we really freak out about the direction of our lives. Listen, I just think we need to relax a little bit and trust Jesus more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if we truly are working to follow Jesus one step at a time, I think sometimes it's really easy to sit there and be like, okay, so Jesus, tell me what to do.
Right.
And he's saying, you're walking with me, you're trusting me, so just go. Just do it.
Sure.
Do
Just
the
take the
thing.
step.
Take the step that's there. You don't need me to say
So
go because you're already
yeah,
walking with me.
So you're just paralyzed by your prayer life, basically.
A little
You're
bit, yeah.
Man, I just want God to do something. I just wanted to tell me something. He brings you all these opportunities in front of you. You're like, I just wish God would do something for me.
Why
And
won't he
gives you
speak to me?
He's like, how about this job? How about this opportunity? You're like, how come he doesn't do anything for me? And then the truth is, how come you don't do anything with what he's given you?
It can be the case. It can. There you go.
The journey is constantly unfolding.
Yeah.
I think we also think that our life is a linear line. We move
Yeah.
from point A to point B to point C to point D, and we move in a general direction in a linear line. Our
And
lives
there's only
do not
one thing.
work in that way.
Yeah.
It could be that you need to step into this opportunity to move to that place, to move to that job, to move that career, into that space, to get that relationship, to meet that person over here so that God can open the door over here.
Yeah.
But he gives you the gift, talent, skills, and abilities. He develops the character over here so that you're ready for the moment over
there.
here. If
Yeah.
it was up to you, you'd be doing something over here. And God's like, no, you need to go here first. So all we're trying to say is if there's an opportunity, if there's a door in front of you, if it's not a no, it's probably a go. And I mean, that's the way I hear God. I've learned through reflection, looking back, spending some time. One of the ways that God talks to me is if it's not a no, it's a go.
Yeah.
I know when he says no,
Yeah.
so I can roll. Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I'm not cautious. We don't do all the due diligence. You have to do all the work. You have to do all the
You do.
due diligence.
Yeah.
But if there's still nothing standing in your way, then take the step forward. So I think some of you just need to set yourself free. You're living in an own prison, the prison of your own destiny. I'm in jail. I feel like you can make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm trapped because I'm just stuck because I won't make a decision. Please make a decision. Please move forward. Please take that next step ahead. You live in balance when you are in mid-step and you just stop.
Yeah. And can I add this? Can I add this too? I think when we're talking about the idea of purpose, I think it's maybe safe to say that our purpose is also so much bigger than our vocation.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger than our job. I mean, our job may or may not be a huge part of that, but I think again we make it the whole idea of purpose such
Sometimes
a
the
singular.
purpose for your job is for you to make money.
Yeah, so you can do that, whatever it is.
That's it.
It's not this singular thing; it's this ever expanding, increasing thing for your life, vision for your life that God has.
Yeah.
We got to stop limiting Him.
Yeah, we keep it really small, don't we?
We do.
We're like, my whole purpose is only my job. There's some of us who do not work jobs that are our passion.
Yeah.
Like the purpose in that job is to give you money so that you can pursue your passion.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with the resource that you've been given? Because we're talking about like a holistic worldview.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the family that you have? What are you doing with the job that you have, the house that you have? Like what are you doing with the resources that you have that coming out of it? It's not just like, am I making a difference with the job that I'm paid to do?
Yeah.
What if you're paid to do a job that you're not passionate about so you can then live a life of generosity or live a life that you are able to live your passion out through the other areas of your life and you have the resource in this other area because you do this job so that you can live this life over here. Like I think we've made it really confusing.
Really small.
Really singular, really confusing. So
Yeah.
what are you doing with your life? Do you have a hard time discovering your purpose? If you do, send us an email, Brett@engagechurch.ca, Desiree@engagechurch.ca. If you don't want to do that, you can go hello@engagechurch.ca. Also find us on social media @engage.church. Hey, this is the Engaged Life right here on the Engaged Network. We're talking about purpose. Thanks for watching. Only one episode left coming at you next week. Join us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify. Thank you for listening. If you're at the gym, great job.
Well done.
You're almost there. If you're in traffic, I'm so sorry.
Just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe. And if you're, what else would you be doing when you're doing a podcast? If you're just sitting in your living room watching this, thank you for letting us into your house.
Mom life, sitting in the car while the kids nap. That's what you'd be doing.
Truth. Have a great day, everybody.